Yes, the conference that went to the airport and had a few too many mimosas in the morning, and the squad that did the same thing. This is the Locked On Big 12 Squad. Long intro time.
You're talking ball with the Big 12 Squad. From Oklahoma State to Utah, from Kansas State to BYU, from Houston to Texas Tech, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming Big 12 weekend. Buckle up. It's the Big 12 Squad, and we have a seat for you. No hurt feelings and thin skin allowed. Squad up. You're part of the Big 12 Squad.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome into the Big 12 Squad. My favorite part of that intro is it has Duke's football stadium. Why? Because that's the only thing that makes sense in the Big 12 Squad, where each and every single one of us are hurtling ever closer toward the sweet embrace of death. It is on its way, fellas. Fret not. And after this last week of football, our conference disaster was the word that I used. Cody Stovall of Locked On Oklahoma State. That also sums up your football season. Jake Hatch of Locked On BYU Cougars couldn't be more opposite. JT Westersill, it describes your hairline. Kevin Borva of Locked On Buffs. Could you be an outside playoff contender? Parker Ainsworth finally got his camera to work. Richie Bradshaw talks about the Sun Devils, who, when's the last time? You guys have that running back. Spencer McLaughlin of Locked On College Football, and then Mountaineer Paul. Paul, blink twice, but if you do, none of us could see it. You're too blurry. This last week in Big 12 play, we lost. Chris Level was supposed to come and brag tonight about how well Texas Tech played against Iowa State. I guess I'll have to do it for him. Spencer, for some god-awful reason, we will start with you. Thanks for making this show your first listen every single day. The Big 12 lost two of its most competitive teams last week. Iowa State going down to Texas Tech, Kansas State going down to Houston, of all people. How bad is that nationally, my friend?
I think the Kansas State loss is a little bit worse, but I think it's starting to really crystallize the reality that I discussed before the season, which is this is a one-bid league. Now, that is not a completely locked-in scenario for the Big 12. I think it just continues to look more likely because BYU still has to go at Utah this week. They have to go at Arizona State. I suspect they lose probably one of those football games, but definitely not both. I think they win both before they lose both of them. But yes, Richie, give him the one-finger wave. There was nothing creepy about that whatsoever, my guy.
Give him the finger, Richie. Give him the finger.
But I think you have to have a pair of 11-win teams in the conference championship game to guarantee the Big 12 gets two teams into the playoff. I think 10-2 Big 12 gets left out.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk to Jake Hatch about BYU and the complicated schedule coming up. But Kevin Borba, your team could go 10-2, miss the Big 12 championship, and to me, at least have a shot, be in the conversation, because the SEC still has matchups like Alabama and LSU. Can 10-2 Colorado, mute yourself, Spencer McLaughlin, at least be in the realm of possibility when it comes to the college football playoff conversation?
Yeah, I think, first of all, Colorado had the best week last week. They didn't play anyone. That was probably the safest place to be.
I would argue BYU had the greatest
Utah had a fantastic week, too. Hey, we look a lot better now. Thanks, Parker.
Sitting on the couch, doing some fishing, doing some Heisman campaigning, and all of a sudden, everyone else is just in pure disaster mode. Realistically, the college football playoff is about money, right? And if Colorado is truly in a situation where they're 10-2, some SEC teams lose ahead of them, like Tennessee or whoever else continues to not look impressive, Penn State, Indiana drops a game, or whatever happens, I think you have to legitimately consider them as a low or one of the higher seeds, right? You can't leave Deion Sanders out if there's an opportunity to get him in. Spencer, you could give me that look, but realistically,
I'm going to give you that look for the entire show if you keep spewing this nonsense. Did you just imply that 10-2 Colorado would be in over 11-1 Indiana?
He did.
Yes. No, I mean, realistically, they could be, right? If it comes down to how bad
Indiana
they
hasn't beaten a bowl team.
Yeah,
it is single.
Oh, gosh.
Spencer.
They have beaten everyone to an absolute pulp. Their margin of victory is 1 point less than Michigan last year through 9 games, who was ranked third at the time.
Oh, Cody beats JT in a fist fight. What are we going to be like? Cody's the heavyweight champion of the world?
Like,
congrats.
Hold on. Do you think that
Cody get that stray?
I've gotten two shots taken at me now.
Also,
yeah, well,
JT's
you woke up. You're in the
now.
game.
That's right.
Are you under this impression that 10-2 Colorado, just because Deion Sanders is the head coach, is going to leap up significantly over 10-2 Tennessee, 11-1 Penn State, or 10-2 Penn State for that matter, or 10-2 Tennessee? Do you actually think the playoff committee would do that?
Well,
It
those
depends
teams
who
you
they
just
lose, right?
mentioned are way different than the first team you mentioned.
Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah. What
He
they
mentioned but Kevin, hold on, but Kevin mentioned all of them. Kevin said, well, this team could lose or that team could lose. You have to get to 3 losses before you can even be considered to be get passed up by a 10-2 Colorado, which is not a guarantee, by the way. Number one, and number two, I don't know that it's a lock that 10-2 Big 12 with a blowout loss to a Nebraska team that looks worse and worse every single week. They lost to UCLA, for goodness sake. I don't know that 10-2 Big 12 is in over 9-3 SEC.
I would argue that Tennessee's loss to Arkansas looks worse and worse every week.
Arkansas lost to Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State can't beat any of us. Like I don't know why. Like
you think? Okay, first of all, you just said a 3-loss SEC team will get in. We know that's not going to happen, right? We look at the rankings right now, and the highest ranked 3-loss team is Ole Miss and LSU sitting at 15-16. So we know that's not going to happen, right? So let's pretend, or let's erase that. Second of all,
Kevin, there was a stat dropped on the show that a 3-loss team has been in the top 12 like all of the last few years. So it is a possibility, especially when you factor in the SEC bias that we do all know exists.
I think the likelihood that 10-2 Big 12 is an at-large team is the same as 9-3 SEC. It's a probably no, but you cannot 100% rule it out.
That one seems reasonable.
You don't think the Dion factors into that equation whatsoever? I mean,
Great question.
Where are they ranked right now?
There's still a human component.
okay, but look at the teams ahead of them. Like Alabama and LSU play each other. One of them is going to fall. Ole Miss plays Georgia.
Okay, and the loser of that football game is still going to be ranked ahead of Colorado after this week. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
They're not. LSU's at 15. If they lose, they are going to plummet.
They're not going to drop 6.
Yeah.
They're not going to drop
No.
7
If-
spots.
If
but
Colorado
go
beats
up, too.
Texas Tech on the road, they will certainly jump a number 15 overall team that loses. That's
And if
objective.
Notre Dame also, if Notre Dame loses,
Okay. We'll find out.
yeah.
We'll find out.
we go team by team. If Notre Dame loses, they're done, right? A 10-2 Notre Dame team is out of the playoff. So
Wait, so we're talking about the brand power of Colorado putting them in the playoff and then saying, yep, Notre Dame 10-2, get them out of the playoff, ship them out of town.
not
one of their
Colorado.
losses in IU.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
Get them off.
Yes, and yet Notre Dame is still ranked inside the top 10. Why? Because it's Notre Dame.
Because they have one loss.
They have one loss. That,
And it's Notre
They
Dame.
got a second loss.
What other team in the country could have a loss to NIU and be ranked that high?
I mean,
Not many
Ohio's
teams have
probably
lost
other-
NIU to
all the
begin
other
with.
ones.
It's not really a fair
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
10-1.
Alabama.
There's a reason that they're 10th with the one loss, and they're not in the top 5 or the top 9 or whatever, right? It's because the playoff committee is giving them a little leash, and if they lose, they are done. If Notre Dame loses, do you think they're going to make the playoff, Spencer?
I think they have the same chance as Colorado or a 9-3 SEC team. It is possible, but I don't think it is likely, and I don't think it should happen.
At the very least, I feel like we've gained ground with Spencer on Colorado. He seems a little more optimistic with that answer. I should also reference the only difference in Iowa State and Notre Dame is Iowa State took their loss later on. Like that, we've forgotten about this Notre Dame loss to NIU, which was way worse than Iowa State's still tough loss at home to Texas Tech.
NIU's other wins are Western Illinois. They have Massachusetts, Bowling Green. Yes, you're right. Those teams have no shot at the college football playoff, Spencer. Like what are you talking about here? That's awful. That's awful.
Western Illinois Catamounts? Western Illinois. Yeah, good luck with that one, Spencer. You host Locked On College Football. You should know.
Western Illinois,
Yeah.
Leathernecks.
It's a dog.
Oh.
What?
It's
The
the
picture's
Leathernecks.
a dog. I don't know
Can we
what
say
they're.
that feels derogatory? What is that? Feels like a
It can sound however you'd like. I've called one of their football games before. It was actually featured on SVP's Bad Beats a couple of years ago.
Yay!
Oh, that's good.
wow.
That's
Yep.
What
good.
a redemption
That's a
arc for
humble brag.
Spencer McLaughlin. Coming up, I want to know if Neil Brown is still fired to hear from Mountaineer Paul as they play the Baylor Bears this week. Richie Bradshaw's team is good. Parker Ainsworth's team might win the national championship next season. Cody Stovall's coach hates all of his fans. Yes, even you included. Jake Hatch and JT Westersill are on a big rivalry week. That is all coming up next. We're going to keep talking
Drake's
about
going to
sports
change
for a minute.
languages to one he can speak.
On the line, grite un número de seguro social, por favor. Big 12 Squad. I will do this one in English. Today's show is brought to you by Robinhood Gold, where you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now the resourceful individual Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.5% APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on an IRA account. Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of a high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply for product specific disclosures. Visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. That is FanDuel. Visit them today and maybe take the BYU money line this week. FanDuel.com.
Dose Grande.
It is the Dose Grande squad. That was crazy.
That reminds me of the monorail Disney World.
Why Mountaineer Paul? Because sometimes
Mumble Disney World.
What he just said reminds me of what it says when you get on the monorail at Disney World.
Oh.
The way he said it. Yeah, because it's in Spanish.
And then it's in, I think, Japanese.
Mantengan los manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren.
We talked a lot of sports in the opening segment, which is crazy for us, by the way. That's very abnormal.
Yeah, what is this? You bring Spencer in and we actually talk football? Like come on now.
Sorry, did you want me to leave? Because that's too bad.
Yeah, where's the candy corn talk? I missed that.
Candy corn's fine.
It is fine. Exactly. It's fine.
The meme of the
Spencer can
couch,
stay.
and there are the guys standing behind the couch, and Spencer's on the couch. So Mountaineer Paul, Neil Brown, if he loses to the Baylor Bears, does he still have a job at the end of the season at 4-5? And that game isn't even what am I talking about? We're going
Cincinnati.
to November 9th in Cincinnati on the road. You'll play Baylor in a couple weeks. If he loses to Cincinnati on the road, you go to 4-5. Does he get fired? Or if he wins a pretty good road game in the Big 12, is Neil Brown saved with 2 wins in a row?
I think he's safe either way, man. Listen, Brent Baker's made it really clear. West Virginia doesn't have the money. We just don't have the money to fire Neil Brown unless he completely tanks the rest of the season. 1 or 3, 0-4, the only 2 ways he is fired. Unfortunately, we all want him gone, but it's a situation to where we're in the red as a university as a whole. We already get less from our university than most other universities in the Big 12. Most other universities get as high as 30% from the university. We're nowhere close to that. So here we are in the red, unable to fire a coach. Ren Baker just wrote a letter last week explaining in detail our financial situation.
Tell Gordon Gee, the vernal native himself of Utah, to pony up, man.
He retires in 25. So that's another big reason that Neil Brown is still here.
Let's do it.
Hey, he's got 2 months.
Sounds like he'll need some tax write-ups or something. Does that count if it's a charitable cause?
No. Having just fired a coach last year when you didn't have the money for it, the best thing that can happen is someone like A&M pays a guy $90 million go away, and then you look silly not paying whatever the cost is. Tell someone else to fire the coach away.
Our fan base wants. And that's the same guy our fan base wants.
Have you tried the Powerball?
The $90 million man.
Have you tried Nick Saban? Has anybody here called Nick Saban to ask him about West Virginia yet?
Apparently,
that's a great idea. How has no one thought to hire Nick Saban? Drake, that's good.
People are making videos about it. Very talented, handsome hosts are making videos about it all over the internet.
I
what an idea
about that.
Handsome, really handsome.
I feel like I watch Mountaineer Paul's show, and I'm like,
Richie,
wow,
I see you.
What clear, good video and audio quality he has. But right now, it's like I'm on the monorail at Disney World after 6 of those Irish beers, that one pub they have on the downtown strip. I don't know what's going on.
Epcot? Are you trying to say Epcot?
I have a video.
Is that where you drink in every
I
world?
have a video that says 3 hours on it right now.
Oh my gosh.
I started uploading a video at 6 o'clock and it still says
That's
3
what
hours.
it is. You can't upload a video and then get on a video call. Parker Ainsworth, I can see you this week.
Back-to-back weeks for him.
Best comment of anything that's happened to me in the last 72 hours was someone commented that I got my Wi-Fi fixed and the Cougs got fixed as well. I take credit for the entire thing. I fixed my Wi-Fi. We're good again. Look at that.
So if Houston loses, are you going to put the bag back on for next episode? It's basketball season, Cody.
Yeah, we're not losing for a while. That's
all we've realized is Utah is the cure for what ails any Big 12 team when they play them. So that's good, right?
Yeah, hey, I appreciate Parker.
Hey, don't rag on the doormat of the Big 12 like that, Jake. Hey, be kind.
It's rivalry.
We weren't talking to Cody.
Oh, poor Cody catching strays too now. Parker, you do have all the basketball shoes behind you there. Happy basketball season to all of our Houston Cougars friends. The football team, though, winning against Kansas State this week, a top 25 opponent, does this mean that a national championship is coming next season?
I mean, why not? Right? No, I think that the truth is, and I remember saying it back in like July, like they were going to beat a team that they weren't supposed to beat because Fritz does really weird Willie Fritz things. I didn't know it was going to be Kansas State. I thought really highly of Kansas State and still frankly do. Frankly, if I'm being honest, Jake, I don't mean to spoil. I kind of thought it was going to be BYU at the end of the year when, of course, that'd be like the spoiler just because like weird things happen that week after Thanksgiving. And like
before then.
for the week before then. No, I think that truthfully what you're seeing is like, they've kind of found a way to solve the problem and they have figured out the quarterback thing. Zion Chris got dinged up on his first rotation against UNLV because that's a good football team.
Very good football team.
Very good football team. He didn't get to play again for a couple weeks. And then when he came back, he kind of rotated through before getting the starting job. Things have changed since he went in. Now they're also running the ball like 45 or more times a game. With running backs that are about 5'9". I don't know how it works, but it gets enough to get the job done, right? That's all it takes. It's what's worked out for us so far.
Parker talked about Kansas State there like an ex he just dumped. Like, oh, she's so nice. She's so nice. Well, she's just the nicest person. It just didn't work out right there.
That's all I'm talking about. Too many heartstrings. Like all week on my show.
I do think I picked them to win the conference before the year started, though. While you're talking about X, like I think I did pick them at the start of the year.
Well, as
That's
someone
right.
who
I want to talk about who I picked.
She's not coming back, man.
Utah, alongside Spencer McLaughlin in our preseason Big 12 picks.
Hey, Drake, it's you, me, and Joel Klatt, baby. We're on our way with that Big 12 preseason prediction.
While certainly in the last
he didn't actually pick Colorado.
Yeah. Platt does love himself some good old Colorado. While we will be joined by Mike Gittins in our final segment to talk some UCF, we'll also get with Cody Stovall about whatever is happening at Oklahoma State. Before we go there, let's go quickly and then segue into that third segment with JT Westercell of Locked On Utes. JT, if you don't mind, preseason favorite to win the Big 12 was?
Utah.
The team that's projected to have a 12% win probability based on offensive and defensive efficiency this week is?
Oh, Utah.
Yeah, it's Utah. The team projected to lose 33-17 at home during a rivalry game is?
Utah.
Yeah, really
Jake
quickly.
Hatch is doing his own Joker impression up there. Yes.
Is he wearing
good.
I got these scars.
Say your Wi-Fi went
He's
out.
Jack Nicholson up there.
I got a lot of scars.
So, JT, I'm going to flip it back. I'm going to help you here a little bit, but not yet. 93rd in the nation against the rush, 105th against the drop back. Again, these all inefficiencies, and 122nd on third and fourth down. Those all on offense. That is bad. However, the number 11 defensive team, defensive success rate in the nation against a BYU team that's 60th on third and fourth down offensively. JT, weird things happen in rivalries. Will a weird thing happen on Saturday night?
I absolutely think it can. Look, this BYU team should win, but let's also call it what it is. This is not a dominant BYU team. They're a team of destiny. At least they look that way. But, Jake, you barely beat Oklahoma State, who doesn't have a conference win. How are you going to look at me like that?
8-0.
I said you were have you been dominant week in and week out? Isn't there a
gang
reason?
sign? Hey, whoa! No gang signs in the Big 12 squad. By the way.
Sound like Tony Stark and Iron Man.
To was it 2022 TCU?
Yes.
That just had that magical run. That's what someone called BYU, and I'm like,
Wait,
I think what you're referencing, Richie, is 1984 BYU. By the way, get it right.
I was not. I wasn't even a
Drake, where did that 13-year-old girl teenage sass come from? I mean, holy crap, I haven't seen that side of you before.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick,
brought it out of me.
Really quick, just talking about this game a little bit more. Look, Utah, like you said, 13th ranked pass defense. Retzloff has thrown 7 interceptions. He's also yet to have over 250 yards passing against a Power 4 team. So I do like Utah's secondary here.
250 yards, you don't need to pass for 250 plus.
I was just drinking water like JT's drinking copium up there in Salt Lake City.
Hey, speaking of the ground, speaking of the ground game too, your running defense, Jake, has shown some lapses as of late, right? Both Harvey and Ollie Gordon had really good games against you guys. Utah's got Mekhi Bernard. He's averaging over 6 yards per carry too. You factor that with Utah's ground game. I do think Utah.
What is it, over 6 yards a carry for 40 yards a game?
Yeah, let's get Mike Gittins on here and ask him how UCF ran against BYU. Yeah, RJ.
Hey, Mike Gittins, how we doing, my friend?
You started with a low blow there. Okay.
Welcome to the madness.
Taking shots.
Welcome in.
Yeah, guys, I was listening to all that. Clearly,
We're sorry.
UCF is on a one-game winning streak. Can a one game be a streak?
Yeah.
It is a streak. It is a streak down in Orlando.
It depends on what you did after
Beat
the
to
game.
that line, JT.
Yeah, they've got it. This Arizona State game is going to be fun, I think. And Gus is going back to school. He's majoring in risk management.
Gus.
Good, Mike.
Looks like half of you got that. It should be fun. I mean, look, I don't know when your season's in the tank and you're like 3-5, and then your coach has the guts to start the 4th string freshman, and then he looks like a mini Johnny Manziel running around there. Oh, come on, man! It was tough. It was actually exciting. I thought they injected a lot of hope back into the fan base over these last few games, and they got a pretty decent shot to make a bowl game now.
Wow, a mini Johnny Manziel is crazy.
Yeah, right.
He's already really good.
Hail Mary at the end of the half.
Like Jay Williams on the Baylor Gonzaga game this week, a bench player for Gonzaga came in, and Williams goes, he's like a mix of Russell Westbrook and Paul George. It's like, whoa, what are we doing?
Is that somebody you want to be in 2024? A guy who can't shoot threes and one guy who can't stay on the court? Like what combination is this player?
You want to be injured and really selfish.
He's my cousin, Spencer, but thanks.
He's my cousin.
Coming up, Jay
Is it an
Cash.
oxymoron is the question.
Chance to respond to JT Wistersill on the game this week. And Cody Stovall, your coach, hates puppies and the elderly. Today's show is brought to you by Hims. Guys, sometimes intimate moments happen spontaneously. Your sex life's important, but your schedule is busy. You don't have time to go to a doctor's office to get treatment for ED. Through Hims, you can get personalized ED treatment without stepping foot outside your door. Hims is changing men's healthcare by providing you with access to affordable sexual health treatments from your comfort of your couch. The process is 100% online, so there's no need for uncomfortable doctor's visits. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/lockedon. With hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers, Hims can help you find the ED option that works best for you. That's HIMS.com/lockedon for your personalized ED treatment options. Hims.com/lockedon. The products mentioned are chewable compound products which are not approved by or verified for safety or effectiveness by the FDA. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details. Important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. All right, Jake Hatch, BYU a 4.5, 5-point favorite if you ask FanDuel. However, the analytics, the efficiencies say that BYU should win by a couple of scores. Is this the week BYU proves, hey, no matter what anybody says, we're going to just go into a rivalry week and dominate?
I sure hope so, because the history suggests it's going to be a one-score game. This is rarely a game that gets beyond 10 points, and when it does, it's routinely a blowout. But
Utah's a team that barely gets beyond 10 points. What are you talking about?
Hey, we're averaging 12 over the last 4 games. Put some respect on our name.
Big money over there, JT. But here's the thing. BYU's rocking and rolling. Everybody I've talked to inside the football program, they are very they're ready to go up to Rice Eccles and make a statement. So I'm looking forward to this one on Saturday night. We'll see how it all goes down.
Cool. Thanks. That's just really it was really nice what you got. Your little.
Can I ask Mike? I was going to say, can I ask Mike a question? I actually would just say thank you to Mike. UCF beating A&M made the entire state of Texas laugh this week. So thank you for that in basketball. Yeah. I know this is a football-centric show, but thank you. When
the news came through and I saw the court storming, which is now one of the funniest things that happen in all of sports, right? It was pretty amazing. Obviously not a basketball school. Picked to finish 11th in the Big 12 this year and just beating A&M. They're weird, man. Like, I know you guys have seen the Yale practices, but I feel like any win against A&M is a win for America. Right. And it's election night. So it's an important message here for people.
It's a weird America wins when A&M loses.
Right. Hey, what happened to Spencer? Did we lose Spencer?
Spencer had too much of the actual talking about football. He comes from the entertainment value, and I guess he got.
I mentioned
bored
basketball, and he vanished.
I told him I was going to beat him up after talking about my cousin.
Yeah, that was
all.
I run too.
Cody, Mike Gundy said that if you're mean to him, you're a poor person. What did he mean by that?
Checks out over here. Checks out.
Well,
wait,
here's
what?
the irony. It's easy to play off if it's just like a very quick clip, right? If it was something he said in 37 seconds, then you could write it off as what a dumb thing to say. The problem with Mike Gundy is he doubled down. And not only did he say the only people complaining are the people who can't take care of their kids and pay their bills, but he also doubled down on top of that. And he also went into this basic conversation about those same people being negative about Oklahoma State are going to be failures when they wake up tomorrow before they talk bad about Oklahoma State. So not only did he call everybody broke and poor and can't take care of their kids and pay their bills, he also called us all failures as well. So anybody who's saying that Oklahoma State is not living up to expectations is a brokey who can't take care of their kids and they fail a lot at life. And with all this stuff, it's crazy. Mike Gundy can take his $625,000 he makes a month and he can go fly a kite and suck a golf ball through a vacuum hose for all we care anymore. I'm over it, man. I have never heard somebody be so disrespectful to their own fan base.
Right.
And like that's a purposeful shot. You know what I mean? Like coaches say crazy stuff sometimes. Mike Gundy has no shortage of crazy things to say.
I'll have Mike know the government garnishes my check every month on time. Thank you, Mike. So I take care of my responsibility.
Well, then you can't be a good Oklahoma State fan.
Yeah, you must not like Oklahoma State.
You talk about how wild it is to do that in the NIL era too.
Mike gets the automatic draft every month.
Wild.
I would just refresh that this is the same Mike Gundy that was in hot water for stuff he said over the summer. This is the same.
Just
the same
like
guy.
a month ago, this is the same Mike Gundy that was calling parents and players weak, and anybody who decommits was never loyal and true, and we didn't want him to begin with. It's starting to layer up. Like I swear, I did vote right, and I should have wrote in Joe Biden to replace Mike Gundy because Mike Gundy, he's either hammered, white girl wasted, drunk, or he's still got a concussion from the stupid cow. Because you cannot say this stuff without having any ramifications out of it.
Can I propose a theory? What's his buy? Is he trying to get fired? What's the buyout? Is it
18 to 22 million?
Hey,
so
if you told me I'd get paid $20 million to say some crap that got me fired, it would happen. it would absolutely happen.
That's why we have
that's got to be it.
I should say Cody towed the line there, but because he's 0-6 in conference, I'm going to leave it in. I'm not going to call the producers this week. We're going to let you have that one. The direct quote from the summer was, and this is unbelievable. Mike Gundy says of Ollie Gordon, who got a DUI, he says, I looked it up on my phone. What would the legal limit be? 2, 3, 4 beers? I'm not justifying what Ollie did. I'm telling you what decision I made. Well, I thought I've probably done that 1,000 times in my life. That's crazy.
Well, evidently he's drinking 1,000 beers before he has press conferences now too.
Cody, the good news is I thank him for running Caleb Etienne off because he's actually starring at left tackle for BYU this season and on his way to the NFL. So BYU is a beneficiary of his nonsense.
Like, guys, all kidding aside, I have legitimately never been more irate in hearing comments from a coach, especially somebody who's a living legend in Stillwater. Like, even if we go 0 for the rest of the year and he doesn't say crazy stuff like that, then we're in Gary Patterson hang the statue mode. But I think that this might be one of those few times where our athletic director is finally getting enough phone calls and emails that something will be done. Now, it is Mike Gundy, and the AD is pretty new, so I don't know that he's going to want to ruffle too many feathers. But there has to be something said for this. Mike Gundy has to be held accountable because of all this pretentiousness that he's throwing around. He pretends to hold the team accountable, yet he refuses to hold himself accountable. And now he has stepped in it so big, the fans can now hold him accountable.
Is the Big 12 now the most problematic conference? It's
in such a fun way.
Yeah, really quick. I have a perfect stat on that.
I was at the bottom of that list too.
I have a perfect stat on that. I can't get over the fact that Utah, Kansas, Arizona, and OSU all have less combined conference wins than BYU. BYU.
Oh.
Hey, JT, do you remember when Utah was picked first in the league last year? And
we already did this last segment.
And BYU's
Where you made
picked
me say the thing.
13th, and you know that currently the Utes are 13th and the Cougars are first. So.
I
Hey,
was picked 16th.
anything can
I don't feel
happen on
bad
a
for
Saturday
any of
night
you.
at Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Richie is very good. We should mention that. Richie was picked last.
Which is really good.
Second to last or last?
Last,
Somewhere.
16.
Oh, Paul, I'm
Might
sorry.
have been
man.
17.
Man. Scatterboo.
Jeez, you're like 6-2 now. You're going to a bowl game.
Scatabooyah.
We might too. All I'm here is Cougars run the conference. We're gonna keep it going. Y'all, then us, then back.
Yes.
We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it
I
going.
just can't. Mike Gundy said, well, if that's drunk drive, we got to do that all the time. And we were like, oh, yeah, they're going to win the conference.
How do you guys do in like sub-zero temperatures? Because we're already like in the 30s here in Utah. By the time Houston gets here, it might be negative 20.
It was 84 yesterday.
Well, good luck. Good luck in a few weeks then.
It was 72 today, and I had to wear a sweater.
Oh, okay. Well, it's 32 degrees and snowing in Utah, so here we go.
If
You
it
guys
was a
call 'em-
blizzard this weekend, that'd be awesome because then Utah doesn't have to throw the ball, so that bodes better for their chance to win.
Yeah, well,
Don't throw the ball anyway, JT.
Can we start talking about
Not well.
basketball yet?
it's supposed to be dry
Agreed.
and cold, JT. So
You-
get ready, baby.
You were up by 1 against Green Bay at the half. Though you won by a lot.
That's
Basketball
right.
might not be a great
Hey,
subject
Doug
either.
Gottlieb.
It's baseball season in
The mighty
Stillwater.
Doug Gottlieb,
Yeah,
baby.
Gottlieb,
The mighty
baby.
Dugs.
What a
Doug
world.
Gottlieb. Coming up on the rest of this week, well, tomorrow's Friday, these guys will do shows that you can listen to, which would be fun. We get to keep our jobs. And if you don't listen to them, maybe one of us gets sad. This has been, and it always will be,
I already am sad.
the most football-centric ever locked
Weird.
on. I would tell you their names, but I just don't care to. Dose Grande Squad.